Great day, grade 4 student. How are you today? So let's have a scientific day with Miss Shara. Let us read our learning targets for today. I can explain the importance of the different elements of weather. Second, I can describe the different weather elements. Now, let us read our work plan. First, we'll do science bits. We'll have discussion on elements of weather, and then activity on elements of weather, and we'll have times it. Alright, so let's have a bit about science. Do you love to hear the pulsing chirps of crickets as you fall asleep? It is an unmistakable sound. Some people find the sound pleasing and peaceful, whereas others find it loud and annoying, especially if the cricket happens to find refuge from the cold inside the home. However, you feel about the crickets, their chirps hold a surprising message. They can report the temperature. Wow! So the noise a cricket makes is from rubbing its wings together. In colder weather, this is harder for crickets to do. So in warm weather, there is more chirping. So just count the number of chirps in 14 seconds, then add 40 to get the temperature. The number you get will be an approximation of the outside temperature. Isn't that amazing? Alright, so those are amazing facts about crickets. Crickets can tell us the temperature outside. But how about in science? How will we know what is the weather? So we are now going to talk about elements of weather. What are the elements of weather? What are the importance of the elements of weather? So let's start. One of the first things you probably do every morning is look out the window to see what the weather is like. Elements of weather describe the weather at any given time. These changing components help meteorologists or scientists who study weather to forecast what the weather will be in the near future. So let's find out what are the elements of weather. Wind. One element of the weather is wind. Wind, it is the movement of air that can be felt against our faces and bodies. We can see the effect of wind by the movement of objects. Winds tend to blow from areas of high pressure where it's colder to areas of low pressure where it's warmer. Right, so we have wind directions. Wind direction is defined as the direction the wind is coming from. So if you stand so that the wind is, you stand up, the wind is blowing directly into your face. The direction you are facing names the wind. So if you are facing north, that is where the wind is coming from. Last time we talked about weather instruments. So wind vane tells the direction of the wind. Along with wind direction, meteorologists measure wind speed. So wind speed is a measure of how fast the air is moving. So meteorologists use anemometer in finding the wind speed. The next element is temperature. So air temperature. Temperature is the hotness and coldness of air that continuously changes from time to time. During the early part of the day or in the morning, the temperature is usually low, but it rises at noon as the sun's light directly hits the Earth's surface. The temperature goes down in the late afternoon as the sun normally sets down. The third element that we are going to talk about is air pressure. So air pressure is the weight of air in our atmosphere pressing down upon the earth. It can be compared to the weight of water pressing down on a person as they dive deep into a pool of water. People can feel the effect of air pressure on their ears as they hike up and down a large mountain. So there is a huge amount of air above us that goes up as high as 100 miles. With all that air on top of us, it is like being at the bottom of the deep end of the swimming pool. But instead, we are at the bottom of an ocean of air. Just like there is pressure at the bottom of swimming pool, there is pressure caused by the weight of the air on all objects, including us, on the and above Earth's surface. At sea level, there are about 15 pounds of air pressure per square inch. The next one that we are going to talk about is humidity. So humidity is usually expressed as relative humidity, or the percentage of the maximum amount of water air can hold at a given temperature. Cool air holds less water than warm air. At a relative humidity of 100%, air is said to be saturated, meaning the air cannot hold any more water vapor. Excess water vapor will fall as precipitation. Clouds and precipitation occur when air cools below its saturation point. This usually happens when warm, humid air cools as it rises. Mention the word clouds. So what is a cloud? Clouds can affect the amount of sunlight reaching the Earth's surface. Cloudy days are cooler than clear ones because clouds prevent more of the sun's radiation from reaching the Earth's surface. The opposite is true at night. Okay? So cloud act as a blanket keeping the Earth warm. When you see a cloud, how can you tell what type of cloud it is? By observing two characteristics. First is cloud's physical appearance, and then how high a cloud is above the earth. So these two things then help us determine the cloud's type. Let's talk about clouds' physical appearance. Clouds can be thick and white, dark and gray, or thin and neatly transparent or see-through. They can be round, oval, tall, or flat. They can be large or small. First is this one. So if you hear the word cumulus, so cumulus clouds are large, rounded, fluffy, cottony looking clouds. So cumulus means heap or file. This one is stratus. Stratus clouds are low, flat sheets of clouds that look like one huge cloud covering the whole sky. So stratus means layer. Cirrus. Cirrus clouds are high, thin, wispy, and feathery. Cirrus means curl or wisps of hair. So let's summarize the cloud's physical appearance. So we have here the Latin root and the meaning. So when we say cirrus, it's curved, filament, and tough. When we say cumulus, it means heap or mass. When we say stratus, it means stretched out or extended. Nimbus means heavy rain or rain cloud. Altus means high because there are different types of clouds that we can still learn, but not today. Okay, you will learn more of that when you go to junior high. Now let's talk about the rain clouds or nimbus. The word nimbus means rain. Another form of the word nimbus is nimbo. So if a cloud contains rain, sleet, snow, or hail, we add nimbus or nimbo to its name. Just like this one. So we have a stratus cloud that produces rain, sleet, or snow is called a nimbo stratus cloud. Nimbo is a form of the word nimbus. So stratus cloud plus rain equals nimbo stratus. So we discussed the different Latin or names of clouds that you can put together and form another type of clouds. So we have here nimbo stratus. Another one is cumulonimbus. So cumulus cloud that produces rain, sleet, snow, or hail is called a cumulonimbus cloud. So that word is a combination of the words cumulus and nimbus. So cumulus cloud plus rain equals cumulonimbus clouds. Right, so we talk about the first, the physical appearance, and you can combine two appearance and make another type of clouds. Second one is how high a cloud is above. So these types of cloud can be classified according to how high. How high is high? So we have low clouds, middle clouds, or high clouds. Base is below 6,500 feet, right? So the clouds that can be found there are stratus, stratocumulus, cumulus, and cumulonimbus. Base between 6,500 to 20,000 feet is called middle clouds. So you can see alto stratus, alto cumulus, and nimbo stratus. The high clouds, the base is usually above 20,000 feet. So we have here the cirrus, the cirrocumulus, and cirrostratus. So we talk about the four major types of clouds: the cirrus, the stratus, the cumulus, and nimbus. So if you combine these types of clouds, you can create cirrocumulus or cirrostratus, then you have altocumulus, things like that. Right, so we talk about the types of clouds and the position of clouds in the atmosphere. Now, how do you think cloud is formed? When the sun warms the ground, the air above the ground is heated and begins to rise. This warm air containing water vapor rises in a process known as convection. Since the upper troposphere has less pressure than the troposphere below it, the rising air and water vapor will expand, become cooler, and the vapor will condense or turn into liquid. This liquid collects on bits of dust and the cloud is formed. As more and more water drops are collected, the cloud becomes larger. When the cloud becomes heavy with water, this water then falls to the earth as precipitation. Let's talk about precipitations. Precipitation is any form of moisture that falls on earth. So water that falls to earth in any form. Rain, snow, sleet, or hail. Rain is precipitation in liquid form. Remember how clouds are formed? As the clouds become heavy, the water falls to earth. So that is the rain. The snow is frozen water vapor. It is formed in the upper part of a cloud when the dew point is below freezing. The water vapor is then changed to ice. Ice crystals form and join with other ice crystals. When they grow heavy enough, they fall into the earth. So if the air temperature is freezing all the way to the ground, the ice crystals do not melt. They fell to the ground as snow. Next is the sleet. So the rain clouds form in the atmosphere's warm layer. Then it begins to rain. Raindrops must pass through the trapped cold air. If the temperature in this area is below freezing, the raindrops freeze. They fall to the earth as pellets or little pieces of ice-cold sleet. Sleet hits the earth and bounces around like grains of rice. The next one is hail. So hail is a form of solid precipitation. Hail often falls during a thunderstorm in the summertime. So hail can be as big as your fist. So now let's go back to the questions that we had at the beginning. Now we know what are the elements of weather. What are the importance of the elements of weather? The weather concerns everyone and has some effect on nearly every human activity. It occurs within the atmosphere. So the mixture of gases that completely envelopes Earth. There are several primary conditions of the atmosphere or weather elements. They include wind, air temperature, air pressure, humidity, clouds, and precipitation. So together, these components describe the weather at any given time. These changing components, along with the knowledge of atmospheric processes, help the meteorologists to forecast what the weather will be in the near future. Now we are talking about weather. Weather doesn't just stay in one place. It moves and changes from hour to hour or day to day. Just like the weather, people change. So let us not be surprised if the people around us changes. And just like the weather, we can have a chance to change every day, to be better every day, the better version of who we are every day. So now you can go to Genyo and answer the scientific activity. And also answer the thumbs up. If you learned a lot, click heart. If you learned some, click the thumbs up button. And then raise hand if you want to ask something. Wow, so that is another scientific day with Miss Shara. Thank you, grade 4 student. Stay safe and stay happy.